This is Task Force N Radio, and I'm its host, John Krotek, advocate for humankind, education, and commerce. We are on a mission to create human healing on a massive global scale and to tell the stories of people who have dedicated their lives to making our planet a better place to live. Our guest for this inaugural episode of Task Force N Radio is Henry Quickbear Sr. Henry is a full-blood Lakota and currently conducts cultural research at the Lakota Language Preservation Office in St. Francis, South Dakota. Needless to say, Henry is a fluent Lakota speaker, as well as a reader and writer of the language. He is now on a serious mission to help his people find their way spiritually. Henry understands the value of prayer, ceremony, and the 7 sacred rites of his people. He is wholeheartedly committed to educating his people and others about Lakota traditions. I found out about Henry while perusing through LinkedIn. Henry had written an article in Lakota which aroused my curiosity, so I reached out to him to get its translation. Before we begin our conversation with Henry, I've asked him to read his piece to start the conversation, and then at the end of our discussion, he's going to give us its English translation. And I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's pretty powerful. Welcome, Henry.
Hello there. How me talk you pe? Okay, I'm petting on washte on kupelo. We choni wajila on hapelo. Tanya yahamani po. Waton hashno oteki keslecha ash on kiecha taku yuha washte on kago koki pelo. Mitakia wakotia vanta umpo. Lakota piki am pette wanji tagnik dishni. Na lakowi choke woichunki na kuya ushkonki washtektelo. Wakhanja ki echalana uspeki washag yaha khokatekia yaha maniktelo. Mitakia lakota pelo le yawav nish le nakhunki wopla khanka chichapelo. Aho.
Wow. Thank you, Henry, for reading that. You know, and you got to hang with us today to hear the translation, and I'm not just smoking here. It is a very powerful translation. I'm just humbled to have you here, Henry. I'm glad that I reached out and made contact with you. And, you know, we want to get a little bit about your background, but we want to try to understand the importance of the things that you're doing and why we have to make these connections. You know, Can you tell us a little bit about your background growing up on the reservation?
Sure, I could do that. My name is Henry Quickbear Sr. I'm from the Spring Creek community here on the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. Currently, I am a Lakota language teacher here in the state of South Dakota, certified. I had to go through obstacles to obtain that. And also, I work for the Lakota Language Preservation Project here in Rosebud for the Rosebud Sioux Tribe. And I also sit on the Sichongo Lakota Treaty Council here for the Rosebud Sioux Tribe. And I am also a school board member at the St. Francis Indian School in St. Francis here on the Rosebud Reservation. I have 5 children, 3 older daughters, 2 in their 20s, currently in college, 3 younger ones. One of them, their names are Helena, Darian, and Haley. Haley is a senior this year. She'll be graduating 12th grade. And then I got 2 sons. One's a sophomore in high school, and one's a 5th grader, Henry Jr. and Francis Quickbear. So I've been here, working here for like 2 years now at the Lakota Language Preservation Project. We have currently got a lot of things in place to try to revitalize our language here. And I also do believe in the religious and our spiritual ceremonial ways I practice in. And I like to help the people in any way I can.
Well, gosh, you know, that's quite obvious. And, you know, congratulations on those kids. It's not easy to raise kids nowadays. And I know you're a good father. You know, we talked a little bit earlier. I know that you come from a line of medicine people, shaman maybe, and you told me a little bit about that. Can you tell me how they molded your personal outlook on life?
Okay, yeah. On my mother's side, My grandfather was a spiritual healer by the name of Earl Swift Talk. And then on my father's side, my great-grandfather's name was Henry Quickbear, who I'm named after. Okay, when I was a younger boy, around 6 months to a year old, I was very sick. And my grandpa, Earl Swift Talk, had took it upon himself to give me a doctrine to heal me. From there on, inside the ceremony, I was given the key basically to whenever my grandpa passed on. I was chosen by his spirit helpers to take on what he has begun. So to finish what he has begun. So now I am currently going into my 6th year of doing what my grandfathers did, which is a spiritual healer to help the people with native medicine and things like that. So I am currently I'm currently doing that. I also run sweat and ceremonies, and I heal the people in any way that I can, with the help of the Hunkashila and the spirit helpers.
Henry, can you think of any single event in your life that you feel an ultimate connection with the planet Earth?
Well, yeah, I could. I know when I was about 6 or 7 years ago, before I took this path, I was at a Wiwangwachi, which we call the Sundance. Here is one of our 7 sacred rites. I was up there, and it was time for me to, pierce. And when I got to the tree, something fell out of the clouds, and it hit my back. And I remember I really remember that day because it seemed like a really good, strong connection there. And they hit my back, but they haven't fallen to the ground beside me. And I remember sometime during the Sundance, I was asking one of my uncles what happens if it hails? What do we do? And he advised me that, we got to keep dancing because this is what we were set out to do. So with that thinking, that's what I thought it was. And then the third one hit me in the back. And then I looked up to the clouds, and it was just cloudy. It wasn't raining. There's nothing going on. So from there on, I felt a real strong connection. And then it was a year after that Sundance that I went on my Humblecha, my vision quest to see what that was about, and to see that the spirit helpers would come and help me do what I was chosen to do when I was a baby. So that's when I felt a strong connection.
That's awesome. We've talked before, and everybody knows that we live in this high-tech age, and we have information at our fingertips, and sometimes it seems like relationships don't even seem real at times because we can talk to the whole world. Tell us why, you obviously understand education. All your kids are in school and you got your education. Tell us why it's important to remember these traditional ways.
Well, I know I heard an answer tell us before, this day and age, one of our main weapons as Lakota people is one of our children with education. That is one of our key weapons in this day and age. To learn, to go to school, to get educated in all the laws and whatever as far as they can go. And that's one of the main weapons we have. And as a father, I believe in education. That's why I ran for our local school board to see if I could make a difference in our children's lives through education. And one of the things that's really changed is that, and then I'm pushing for right now, is that our children get taught these ways so they can have a better understanding as they grow older, so we don't lose our culture and our religion. So I think it's really important that we start teaching our young children our Lakota culture, so that way we don't lose it. And it's very important that we don't lose it because our people have been around for centuries and we're still here. So I think it's very important that we teach our young children our Lakota, not only Lakota, any native culture, any native religion, so that way they can be strong as they grow older. They're the ones that will carry this on with them.
It's definitely important work, So What does labeling mean to you, and how does it affect the society when we label each other?
I think labeling is wrong because that's another way of judging people. And I go by a saying, and I read the saying before, and I kind of added on to it. But when we label, we just kind of put people down, and they judge. We get judged. When, each and every one of us have the same color blood running through our veins. We shouldn't label, and I think it's wrong because, I think it's like 50-50 chance, it can be good and it can be bad. But as far as my thinking is, we shouldn't judge anybody by what they look like or what they do, because I believe everyone has a heart, and that, they can use their hearts in good ways. But like I said, that's where the understanding and that is missing in today's society. Definitely well put, Henry.
So what can people do, and how can we work together? Seriously, we've been talking about it, but how can we really, really work together to diminish these social stigmas that they really keep all of us down?
I think that if we can all look into each other's lives, and if we look into each other's lives then and there, we can see the struggles that we all face. We all face any struggle, whether we're rich or we're poor. We all have a struggle. And if we can look into each other's lives and see that, we're struggling in one way or another, maybe then we can learn to respect each other and understand each other in a better way. And then if we can all do that, then I think this world could be a better place to live in. But until then, I don't see it happening anytime soon, because it's a healing process, especially for our Native people. So I think that, we need to look into each other's lives and see the struggles that we face on a daily, yearly basis.
I couldn't agree with you more, what you said about the same color blood. It doesn't really even matter the outside, but it's what's on the inside. Can you, describe, the 7 sacred rites of Lakota?
Yeah, the 7 sacred rites is, one of them is the Chinupa, the Humblecha. And I'm not going to go in any special order here. I know that the Humblecha is one of them, where we go and do a vision quest. And the next one is the Sundance, which is one of the ones that we do every year, every summertime, as the Sundance. And then another one would be the Inipi is a rite of purification, where, it's like if we're facing something really hard in our lives, we go into the Inipi. It's like a reset button for our lives, even for that moment, for that week, for that day. You feel good about yourself. And another one is the Ishna Awichalawampi, a girl's coming of age ceremony for young girls, and the throwing of the ball ceremony is also for young girls. And another one is the keeping of the soul, keeping of the spirit ceremony, and the Hunka ceremony. So those are all given to us by the White Buffalo Calf woman, and to show us how to live our lives, to give us something strong to believe in. So those are some of the things that we on the reservation do here for our people. Really, very, very strong.
What's interesting, the little bit that I know about your tradition is that the ones that you just described have a serious connection with Mother Earth, with the planet. And, so many times we think about domination, but the planet, we also have to learn to live with the planet, not only with each other, but with the globe.
Yep. That's very important too. I'm glad that you said that, because we believe in the circle of life, that everything goes in a circle. So, that's one of the things that we can do.
You spoke about the healing process, that life is a healing process, and these ceremonies, different times in our lives when we face many similar hardships. How can business play a role and help people in the healing process? Is there a way we can use business to do that?
To a certain point, I think business can do that, but it all comes down to how a person feels. If you feel if you want to be one with the planet, or if you want to just help the people. Like the Lakota culture, we believe the circle of life, everything goes around, reincarnation, and all of this stuff. So, as far as business stuff, the man-made things, I think it doesn't play that much of a role in this way.
Right.
That's just my beliefs, but I can be wrong too. I can be wrong.
Well, I know I've been wrong many times, but you can also be right. And the whole thing is to try to educate each other and see the things we can do to work together. Do you have 3 things that you personally do that you think help to make the world a better place?
Yeah. 3 things that I do. Okay, one of the things that I do to help make the world a better place is I've been given a great gift from my great grandfathers and their helpers. So that's one way that I can help make this world a better place, is try to heal the sick, help the weak, encourage people to live by the Lakota virtues that were given to us also. And another way we can do this is try to educate as much people as we can and try to learn our Lakota virtues in the strongest, the best way possible, so we can pass that on to our children. And the third way that I can really help is that we could, if we can all get together, like I said earlier, if we can all see our struggles, and then if we can all understand each other, if I can give at least 1, 2, 3 people the understanding, maybe they can go out and pass that on in the way that they can, the best way that they can. So those are some of the 3 things that I can do, is just to try to educate and bring things along with them so they can pass it on to the younger generations coming up.
Well, it's definitely 3 good things that you do. Do you think, Henry, do you think that it's possible to end human suffering?
I think it's possible, but like I say, we all got to be in the same page. We all got to respect each other. And once we put the judging, when we stop judging each other, I don't know how the world would be if we were all living in peace. I don't know if there would be a bad apple in a bunch, or so, because it's evolving every day, and so. Yeah, I don't think there is no way we can heal Mother Earth right now with all the things going on. I think we're too far gone right now to. Maybe we can try. If everybody's willing to work together, we can heal this. We can heal Mother Earth together.
Well, definitely a couple of things that you said, and I think it's key. That's why you're doing what you're doing, is education. Anytime that we can educate, we can reduce our ignorance about each other, about ourselves. And that certainly can go a long ways. But it's like you say, people have to be on somewhat the same sheet of music. And sometimes that's just tough to do.
Yeah, it is.
Where do you see yourself, the program, in 5 years?
Here, the program for Lakota language, I hope I can bring our numbers up for Lakota's language speakers. I hope that we can educate the people and bring enough awareness to the Lakota language, the Lakota speakers, and our children here on the Rosebud Reservation. And I know every other reservation is probably doing the same thing as far as the language goes, to revitalize. And I think that here on the Rosebud Reservation, we really need to push it, and we really need to speak it, and to teach our children now more than ever. So I think in 5 years, I hope to gain at least 20 speakers at the most, or if it's even more than that, that would be even great.
That would be awesome. Let me ask you this. What are the conditions like on the reservation?
Well, the conditions here are poverty, a lot of poverty, a lot of crime, There's not really that much things to do here for our children. We got the schools, we got the Boys and Girls Clubs, we got all that stuff here, but we need more parental involvement into our children around here is what I think. I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but those are my beliefs, and those are what I think that we need to do to try to get out of our situation here.
I know I was talking to a Navy veteran who's, Native American, was telling me that on his reservation, it was nearly 80% poverty level. And, those kinds of conditions, it's bad enough, dealing with the situation of living your life. But when you have that to consider too, it does take, and it's not cliche, it does take the whole community. And sometimes, you hope and you pray that it's not too far gone, and you always try to have that guiding light in the hope,
Yeah.
Do you have like a personal quote that resonates with you, maybe your own quote or a quote from somebody that's well known?
Yeah, I think I read most of it earlier today, but I can read it again. If we can all look into each other's lives, then and there we can see the struggles we all face. Whether we're rich or poor, we all face a struggle. Maybe then we can learn to respect each other and understand each other. Then this world would be a better place. I like to live by that, and I try to teach my children that motto.
That's definitely a good motto to live your life by. How would you, Henry, you talked about the circle of life. How do you want to be remembered?
Well, I'd like to be remembered in a good way where, that I, as a person that tried to make a difference to a lot of lives, whether it's through education, teaching our kids, or whether through our practicing our ceremonial ways, I want to be remembered in a good way and be well respected in a good way. So that's why I try to live my life and try to get it better every day.
Definitely something to shoot for. Can you give us any final thoughts on humanity and our role that we should take in it?
In order for us to survive, we need to get along. We need to respect each other. We need to help each other. We need to communicate with each other. Not one person is better than the other just because there's a lot of money involved, because, at the bottom, we all need to remember where we came from. We all need to remember how we came about. If we were poor when we were growing up, and you come into a lot of money, you got to remember where you were at before you came into all this, like you put yourself on a pedestal real high. You got to remember and look around at the bottom and try to come back down. That way you can be a better person, and we can all be better people that way.
If I was going to come to South Dakota, tell me some places I would want to go to see the traditional lands. Where would I want to go?
I think you would have to come to the reservations. That's where you start. Come to the reservations where you can see what reservation life is about. You can see our poverty, our struggles. And it's not always bad around here. We got to make do with what we got, which is what we do every day here on the reservation. We try to make things better. So it's not as bad as it's cut out to be as people perceive the reservation life. But, I think it's got to take a person to come and see for themselves, rather than to judge what a reservation life is like, to better get an idea.
How can people make contact with you to find out more information about the preservation project?
You can call me here at work at 605-747-5264, or you can email me at matulkunkel1@hotmail.com, which is, I can spell it out because it's Lakota. It's my last name, Quick Bear, in Lakota. So it's matulkunkel1 starts off with, no, these are all lowercase, MATOOHANKO1@hotmail.com.
Well, for more information, anybody listening that's been waiting for the translation, can contact Henry Quickbear Sr. at that email address. My pronunciation is not perfect, so I'm not going to mess it up. But, let's go back to the I think it's worth repeating again, I think, Henry, the language part that attracted me, and then the translation.
Okay, yeah, I can do that again. Okay. How mitakipi ake ampetu washte on kupelo. Wichoni wanjila on hapelo. Tanya yoha manipo. Waton hashno otechike sleja ash. Unkie chataku yuha washte on kagago kokipelo. Mitakie lachotia hanta ompo. Lachotia piki ampetu wajita agniktishni. Na lacho wichocha wo ichunki naku yuha on shkonki naku washtektelo. Ukhanjaki echalana uspeki washagi ha kokateki yaha maniktalo mitaki lachota pelo leya wabki naishnachki wopela khankai chichapelo. What I basically said was, hi relatives, this is another good day that we were given. We only have one life, so let's walk with it in a good way. I know there are times where it gets hard, but it's up to us to make it better. My relatives, if you speak Lakota, use it. One day our Lakota language will be gone, will be lost. And we also need to teach our children, we need to practice our Lakota culture and our Lakota ways. That way our children can carry these in a strong way from tomorrow till they grow up. To the ending there is Mitakian Lakota Pelo, relatives, we are Lakota. Then I Leya Wabki Wopila Kanka Chicha Pelo. I want to thank you for reading this, and that's the end. But I always believe in that. We're given a day, every day we wake up, every day the sun rises, we're thankful that we are given another day to walk this earth with our life. So, if your day goes bad, it's up to us to make it better. We can do it. We control our own destiny, our day. So if you're having a bad day, just close your eyes or say a simple prayer, and then things will turn for the better. But it's up to you to make it better.
Well, thank you for reading that. Definitely some wise words. I mean, very powerful. And all I can say is I'm humbled to have you here, Henry, on the Task Force N radio podcast, the first one. And I appreciate you and I appreciate your people, and anything we can do to help on this end, we're here for you. And we wish you great success, and I'm looking forward to when I can actually meet you in person.
I'd like to say thank you to you, John, for reaching out through this LinkedIn post. And, it's really good that somebody was out there actually reading this stuff. So I want to thank you, and thank you for having me on here.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Task Force N Radio. Through education, we will raise global awareness, create more balance, perpetuate human healing, and diminish suffering in our world, because humankind matters.